friends, glad you're with me today. We're gonna try out a few new things. I've just been accumulating a few random things that I've been sent in PR, and I thought you might be interested to see how they go. A couple of these things I've had a little experience with. Some are gonna be just brand new today. Not gonna amount to an entire full face, but we'll have some fun with what we're sent. So far I've got like most of my skincare on, minus the SPF. That's because the SPF is contained in this new product from ABH. It's called Hydra Prime with SPF 50. So I thought, yeah, let's work with some of this today. It's got a nice like heavy cap on it. Feels very substantial. Squeeze a big old glob out here and see how she blends in. Definitely gets immediately colorless on the skin. I really like the texture. It's thicker than Supergoop Every Single Face, but it's not sticky at all. It gets a real smooth feeling. I see why they think of it as a primer. When you squirt it out of the tube, you're thinking this is going to be thin and light, but actually there's kind of a richness. I feel like it's hanging together across your skin, but the richness is not feeling sticky. It's feeling quite smooth, but also hydrated. So that's cool to try. And then I'm wondering about maybe popping on another primer because of how it pertains to this next product. We have a new foundation from Benefit. It's the Professional Foundation, and when they sent it, they also threw in the primer too. So I'm thinking, yeah, we can double up on primers. Let's put a little bit of the Professional primer on. Wow, this is thinner than I remember. I'm not saying it's drippy thin or anything. There's always a little thickness to Professional, but it's less dry than I remember it being. So I'm gonna take this across my skin. I'm gonna really focus in on the pore areas like the nose and around the nose, and any extra I may will get it up to the T-zone. So I've used this foundation once and I thought maybe it was a little bit drying on me. The claims of it are smoothing, blurring, pore loving, meet the foundation of your dreams. Available in 40 shades, non-comedogenic, buildable coverage. I need a drink of coffee. This is my Luke's mug, by the way, Gilmore Girls fan. Interesting thing, there's this little like notch there on the top. I'm not sure why that's there, but yes, thank you, Benefit. Setting yourselves apart. The shade I have here is 10N. The shade name is Ace. That's a pump, actually just a little extra oozed out. So let's see what the full pump is gonna give. Like I said, I have played around with this. They sent 3 shades and the other shades seem like they're definitely going to be too light, and you see this crossing my skin and it just seems like really light yellow, but it is going to blend in and work out. Just bear with me here. I'm going to use my Profusion buffing brush. They said medium buildable coverage. And the last time I used this, I mentioned it was a little bit dry. It could have just been my skin prep. You know, I've had to adjust some things a little bit with my skin feeling a bit drier, being in the pool and stuff. Before I put that ABH sunscreen primer stuff on, I actually used all my normal serums, and then I did like 2 pumps of the e.l.f. Thirst Burst drops all over. I feel like it is definitely a strong medium coverage though. It could look a little lighter if you used a damp sponge. Making sure I'm all blended. The shade still does seem maybe just a little light on me actually. But I do feel like my skin looks pretty smooth, and I'm definitely not seeing like pores and anything problematic around the nose. So I think the primer and the foundation might be working together well in that respect. So the question will be for me today, since I kind of stepped up my skin prep, gave myself a little more hydration, am I going to be happier with the way this looks on my skin all day? So I'll be looking out for that, but as of right now, I think it looks really beautiful, and I would say, yeah, it's a very strong medium coverage when blended with a brush. All right, so I've gone ahead and done my concealer and powder. I didn't have anything brand new for that. I used my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind in the shade Fair, so that's just on my under eye and around my nose a little bit, and I think that just does an awesome job. And then I set it with the Infallible Blurfection in the pink light shade. And I didn't do any additional powder. I just kind of set that, and maybe lightly whatever was left on the brush went around the rest of my face. But here's the next thing. Morphe has a micro contour stick called Shape Lifter, and on the little diagram, on the little map that was in the PR materials, they show that it could be put anywhere, you know, but it might be especially handy like on the nose or something. I don't know if we're going to feel like this is way undersized for anywhere else, but I'm going to try it everywhere. So did I say the shade I have? It's called Enhanced. They had quite a nice shade range for it. So we're just going to, you know, where we might do one stripe of a thicker stick, we'll just do a couple. Maybe a little down here. And I guess, you know, since they do talk about using on the nose, we can do a little nose contour there. But it's the size of like a jumbo shadow stick, okay? Let's see how it blends. I'm gonna use my Sephora 56. Okay, that blends really easy. This is for the people who maybe want to use a contour stick but feel uncomfortable swiping on like a whole big bunch. This shade is kind of cool. There were some that were deeper, warmer, whatever. I'm just using this brush and seeing what I can do there on the nose. I don't typically do anything to my nose, but it's blending with very little effort. And this particular shade on my skin tone is looking very like naturally shadowy. Not too light, not too dark. If that didn't blend well, we would have such a problem, you know, with those smaller strokes on my skin, but it's looking so good. Wow, chiseled. I'm into that, guys. I like it. I'm really surprised because I just thought, oh, come on. A little skinny contour stick, like, is this a gimmick? But actually, like, a couple lines of it on my cheekbones and around my hairline. I like that, Morphe. I do. I just popped on blush. Nothing new here. This is Almay Nearly Nude. If you like satiny kinds of blushes and you like that medium kind of neutral tone, this one's so good. I love that. And then Smashbox sent a few little blasts from the past. There's a primer and eyeliner in there. And then remember how they saved some of Becca when Becca went under? The under eye corrector, and then this is Champagne Pop. I thought, wow, they sent Champagne Pop. Maybe we should use it all over again and see if we still think it's as good as it once was, right? So here's a fresh new Champagne Pop. Let's try it out. Yep, still beautiful. I'm gonna buff that in. Oh, just a really pretty light on the skin. I can enjoy it, but at the same time, I'm like, Milani has 2 or 3 different really good highlighters out, you know? It's lovely, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, there's been a lot of goodness come out since this. Just all over the place. But remember when Champagne Pop first came out? It was a Jaclyn Hill collaboration product. It's pretty. It added a nice little something there to my cheeks. But now we're moving on to brows, and we've got a couple of new things there. They were part of the little package that was sent from Morphe. They have a nano brow pencil, so I'm using the shade Java there, and then a micromanager gripping brow gel that I think is just going to be clear. So is this? Yep, it's going to be a teeny tiny one to the tune of the CoverGirl Nano brow pencil that I like so much. So it's skinnier than Brow Wiz and a lot of the standard skinny pencils that are out there. And I think this is, Java is the second to darkest shade. It's laying down just the most hair-like strokes that you're going to get from a pencil, you know, just like CoverGirl's. I'll have to look into the price difference because CoverGirl's really isn't like dirt cheap. But I love it. It's lasted me so long, and what I've realized, the appeal of these super skinny pencils for me as one who has a decent amount of existing brow hair, they get down to the skin. They get precisely where you need to fill in, and honestly probably resulting in me using less product overall because I'm not just raking over hairs, you know what I mean? I'm really getting down into where I actually need to fill the brow. So I think I'm gonna enjoy this. It seems to be operating a lot like the CoverGirl, and yes, there is a little spoolie on the other end. This nano size might not be for absolutely everyone, but like I said, for me, I just love it. See, like, I can tell there's a little spot in there, and I'm able to reach it exactly. This shade is really good. And the hair-like nature of the strokes, too. Like, if you were recreating a brow, I think it would look very realistic. You can use your little spoolie brush. Break it on through. I want to do a little price comparison on these. Oh, wow. I was expecting Morphe's to be more expensive. Morphe's is $10, which is not cheap, you know, we realize that. But CoverGirl's is $11.99 at Ulta. That price could vary at other retailers, but they really seem to operate in the same way, a similar texture of the pencil. I would have to pat both on the back for not being too mushy, which would be a real problem with a skinny stick like this, but not too dry either, so you are seeing the strokes you're making. But yeah, let's try this Micromanager Gripping Brow Gel that was also sent. Ooh, it's a teeny tiny brush. Now, I don't like my brow gel brushes to carry a lot of goop, and this looks like it's very, very fine and not gonna weigh you down. Okay, I saw a little bit in my dark brows there. You know how sometimes I put a brow product on and I'm feeling immediate hold? I'm feeling like immediate wetness with this. Even though that was a really small brush, like you could still probably overload yourself a little bit with it because it's just kind of a wet feeling gel. But I think now, as it's drying, I'm just using my spoolie to make sure that's all evenly in there. As it's drying now, I think I'm starting to feel the hold. All in all, a really good brow experience there from Morphe. I'm very happy with what I tried. And we're getting ready to do eyes. I didn't have like a palette or anything pulled out, but I do have some more of these Morphe Solo Artist Cream Shadows, so I might as well like pull a couple of those into my look today. I'm using a little Wet n Wild Mega Last Eye Primer first. I have a little freckle now that's like in my eye crease on that eye. So one thing about these that I've noticed is that they do really set, and it can kind of affect your blending experience a little bit. Like I notice it setting up on my finger and I'm like, no, I'm trying to still blend. I'm gonna use this shade called Debut. Looks like a lighter color. Before I had used these two in a look, Melody and Remix. Remix is kind of a darker brown. Melody is sort of like a beigey pink. Not super pinky, just like a pinky toned beige. And ultimately I ended up like finishing my look by putting some powder over the top because I felt like I wasn't able to really get a good looking blend between those shades. Like it just didn't seem as finished as I wanted it to be. But again, this is the shade Debut. And this seems to be a really just lid neutralizing color and a little bit brightening. Can you see where I put it there? Once it blends in, it looks kind of like skin tone. But then you touch your finger, you're like, yep, that's set up on my finger already. I'm gonna see if I can blend a little bit deeper shade, maybe in my outer corner. This is called Set List. It's looking like sort of a medium brown. Let's just see. Again, I just feel like I have control with my fingers overall, but there won't be quite as much contrast with this darker shade as there was the last dark shade I used, so maybe it'll just be easier. I'm taking it so light. They call these priming cream eyeshadows. Once again, like what I've put on there is not blended and it's already starting to set. It's setting on my finger. I'm running into just the very same situation I did last time. I'm gonna take this little small firm eyeshadow brush from Profusion and get a little bit on there and just see if a brush can assist me on these. They just really want to stick in place. I mean, I respect the setting, but they're just setting so fast. Everywhere I've put it, it just looks kind of like a patch. Adding more, trying to make it work. Hi. Love you.
Hi.
How you doing? What you
got?
got?
My styling head.
Barbie styling head. Belle's got her face halfway through the ring light. Yep. And I'm trying to blend cream shadow that doesn't want to go anywhere. You got accessories?
Yeah.
Good.
It's like her clips and her hair ties. You know what Rosie did today? She put her hands on my face and then she went like this.
She covered your eyes with her paws?
I was like, Biddy, save me. Bye, camera.
Okay, I just kept blending this. It's still just really wanting to stick in place. I think if you're looking for kind of a one swipe thing, like if I stopped at the first shade, that could have been a good base, you know? Layering up these cream shadows to try to create some kind of look is just kind of hard. Okay, here's what I did just to make this look a little more smoothed out. Even though it was looking better, I wasn't totally content. I pulled out another little Clinique Duo. I used a Clinique Duo in my last video. This one is called Like Mink, and it's got this beigey color and then just a classic brown with a little shimmer, and I just went over like light and then blended the darker brown into my crease. And I think my takeaway on these Morphe singles is, again, nice bases but not ideal for like blending one shade into the next and creating a whole look. But now we're going to move on to a new mascara. Persona has a tubing mascara out and it's in a couple of shades. It says volumizing and lengthening. There's a brown, which I haven't gotten into, and the black. We love a tubing mascara. I have really fallen in love with e.l.f.'s Lash Extender, and I know this would end up being a little more pricey than Lash Extender. In fact, let's look up the price. Searching the price while I curl my lashes. $24. So it's gonna have to be doing some amazing work to top lash extender, but I do like the packaging. I like that color. It's got a gentle curve to the wand. Can you see that? Short bristles. Let's see what we get here. I'm right away able to see it on my lashes. I don't think this is going to take a long time to build. And it's most definitely not leaving any like big clumps of product in there. I'm adding another coat right away. Building pretty well, but honestly, I don't know that this is above and beyond lash extender. It's actually kind of starting to make my lashes stick together a little bit in a couple places. But it is giving me kind of a thick look. Now I feel like since it's a tubing mascara, I can feel free enough to put it on my lower lashes as well. Just a light bit. There's one eye pretty much done. I'm not sure if my lashes would take any more on that side, but I might try once it gets a little more dry just to see. Persona has also sort of redone the look of their packaging on their Dream Stick cream blushes and bronzer sticks. They've just given it a little more like rounded off design. They're cute. Not a drastic change though. Okay, one coat building up again pretty well. Pretty quick on the build. I think I caught some lower lashes in that application, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hop down there. Also, now that this side is feeling completely dried down, I don't think anything's much wanting to build on there. So again, do it while it's wet if you're wanting more coats. I gotta give this one some love on the length building. Like, it really is doing that. It's just kind of like on coat 2. I feel like it's almost gotten sticky and is sticking the lashes together in some spots. Oh, good. Bye. It seems so far to be doing okay about curl holding, and I do love Persona as a brand. I love their quality, but just to be honest with you, like, I'm really into e.l.f. Lash Extender, and I feel like it can do what this does. I'm adding that one more coat like I did over here. I gave it a chance to get a little dry just to see will it receive more product after it's dry. And this one is taking a little more. A neat thing about this one is it will build good length without creating the funky ends. But a couple new lip products here to talk about. One from Hard Candy. They've got a lip butter, like a peptide lip balm thing. It says 4 times butters and peptides. Vegan and cruelty-free. This shade is called Toasted Coconut, and it does have a little color to it. It's a squeeze tube. Can you see the color there? Kind of a pinky nude. Peachy nude, maybe, would have been the better description. This is a silicone tip. I always end up mushing them around with my fingers. That's pretty, and it smells so good. Like really sweet coconut. Feels incredibly comfortable. Definitely does feel balmy. For some reason, you can really sense when something is a gloss and when something is a treatment type of product. This feels really super comfy on my lips, and that color is so casual. You could throw it on and feel like, yeah, I don't feel like having a lot of color on my lips, but that's okay. You know, that's doing a little something for me. I like that a lot. That's available at Walmart now. That's where I got it. Very much into that, but I'm gonna have to take it off to show you the next thing. I got one of these from Rimmel. It's their new Thrill Seeker Lip Latex, and I looked it up online here. It says, get a bold, unstoppable look in one swipe. Liquid lipstick drenches lips in extreme vivid color with a lasting lip stain, delivering instant shine, a hint of hydration, comfort that lasts all day. So it's one of those do-it-all kinds of products. I'm wondering if it will be similar to like the Maybelline Superstay Vinyl ink, where you're getting that staying power, but you're getting shine, and then the shine kind of wears away and you've got a long-lasting liquid lipstick. This is the shade called Main Character, and again, available now at Walmart. And this is my first time trying this one, so let's see how it goes. Smells a little bit sweet. Feeling smooth and a little thicker than your average liquid lipstick as you put it on. A rich feeling glide. Not as opaque immediately as the Maybelline Vinyl inks. That looks so pretty, but feeling balmy almost. The thickness going across your lips is not like liquid lipstick. It's more like a liquid lip balm kind of feel. But then you do have that pretty color. What happens if you like let some transfer off? There's that shine, but you can totally tell you're going to have some staining underneath that for sure. Feels super comfortable. They really got a nourishing hydration level going in this one. I'm very interested to see how long lasting that stain is going to be because these feel extremely hydrating and comfy going on at the get-go. And if that kind of color lasts on my lips a long time today, I'm going to be in love with this product. They've got, I think 8 different shades that this comes in. Just looking on their website, 4 appear to be a bit more colorful. I would put this in that range, and then 4 seem to be more neutral tones. But yeah, that wraps up this little new product try on. I'm looking at everything here. I was pleased with this Hydra Prime. I really like the texture of that blending in on the skin, and I'll continue to work this into future looks for sure. I'm going to put that in with my SPFs, so I think of it that way because it does contain the sunscreen. This foundation, I think the coverage is really beautiful with this, with that strong medium coverage. Shade is not perfect, but I feel like in the end we made it work. The thing today will be seeing if a boosted hydration level underneath can help this look fresh all day, because it started to look dry on me at first with my usual steps underneath the first time I wore it, so we'll see how it goes today. I was really pleasantly surprised by this micro contour stick from Morphe. I felt like it was so easy to swipe it on, and it really kind of makes you rethink some of the thicker contour sticks that are just really putting so much on your skin at once. Here, you know, it was kept very light. This shade called Enhanced was a very nice natural contour tone, naturally shadowed look, but I felt like it was really effective. I looked definitely chiseled when I was done blending it, and it blended very easily. So that was great. And I was also happy with Morphe's brow products too. The Nano Brow Pencil that's actually coming in a little bit less than the price of CoverGirl's. I thought that was cool. The brow gel, I definitely have hold in the brows now. You may not feel it when you first put it on. It just has that wet feel, but once it dries down, you have some hold. Really not huge on the Morphe cream shadows that are going across the lids if you're planning to layer them and create a look. What else was really new here? Persona mascara, it's a like, not a love. I'm going to continue to use it since I have it, but if it came down to this or e.l.f. Lash Extender, I would be taking e.l.f. Lash Extender. And then really pleasantly surprised by the way they made this lip latex feel from Rimmel. The Thrill Seeker lip latex, shade is called Main Character. It feels so nice and continues to feel very like liquid lip balm-ish. There's a richness, there's a softness, but it's gonna be the type of thing that leaves kind of a lightweight stain behind. And with Maybelline's lip vinyls, the difference there was that it's going to go on with some immediate shine, but then it's pretty much like a liquid lipstick, ultimately. There's that thicker like layer of color that's actually on. Here, you're getting that somewhat transparent quality that a stain can have. I mean, my lips still look colorful, but if you look in close, I think you can see it's a softer stained type of look rather than opaque 100% color blanking out the lips. So yeah, that's the takeaway. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was informative, and let me know if you've got any opinions on these products, if you've tried any of them, what are you thinking, what shades are you liking, and I will see you all again very soon. I love you. Bye.